Hey everybody, how you doing? Sophia Perola here with Garden State Film Festival, and today I'm here with the people behind the making of the mockumentary Dangerous Fantasy. It is a very, very fun film. I really enjoyed watching it, and I can't wait to talk to you guys today. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming. Thanks for making this film, and congratulations on getting it accepted. Before we start into this interview, I'd love for you both just to introduce yourself and the title in this film. Ben, you want to start?
Sure. I'm Ben Danzi. I directed Dangerous Fantasy, and this film is about a fantasy football commissioner who has kind of devolved into madness, and he has a concerned friend, John, who is trying to pull him out of this insanity.
Beautiful, beautiful synopsis. And Jake, can you tell us, who you are and you're part of the film?
My name is Jake Enzer. I am said commissioner, and I also wrote the screenplay along with Ben and our other friend John, who is the other character in the film, and it was sort of based on the events that took place in real life, kind of, because I am the commissioner of a fantasy football league. I like to dress up in crazy costumes and send threats to various league members for just to kind of keep them on their toes, and so the documentary didn't stray so far away from reality. But yeah, that's me.
Wow, that's so cool to hear about how you made it. That's gonna be my first question: is what inspired this idea? If there's any more elaboration too. I mean, so Jake, you play the actual, guy. So I don't know fantasy football, which is really cool because I really enjoyed the mockumentary, which just shows you don't need to understand anything about fantasy football to enjoy it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was unique and interesting. So I'd love to know more about how you came up with the idea and the creative inspiration for this.
Sure. I've been in a league, like a fantasy football league, for like 10 years, and it sort of ended. And you don't really need to know much about fantasy football other than it's just like sort of a place for guys to come together and to talk about sports and gamble and whatnot. And so I wanted to start a new league, but I had some ideas of some jokes I wanted to play. I wanted my creating of the league to be sort of based around. I don't know why. I recently watched The Hunger Games, and I really liked the character Stanley Tucci plays, the maniacal kind of host, and I liked that character, and I wanted to sort of be that for my fantasy football league, which is of course absurd because fantasy football is it's like tracking data in like the NFL. It's like not costumed people wearing like face masks and like ruffly stuff. So I don't know. I like that juxtaposition, and so I decided to dress up for the draft, which is just like the starting of the league. Ben came down for that, and it was sort of a hit. Everyone in the league loved it. They thought it was just kind of funny. And then so the next summer before the next draft, we're like, why don't we make a movie? Why don't we make a movie of the commissioner? And this character sort of grew out of that inspiration. So it's really Stanley Tucci's character in The Hunger Games is where my character started. That's sort of how that's sort of the genesis of the film, really.
That's awesome. And Ben, I want to ask you, I mean, what is it like directing this film in particular? I would say, what is it like directing a documentary? But it's interesting because this is it's a mockumentary, so it's a documentary, but it's funny, and some of it is like wildly outrageous, but at the same time, it's really grounded, where it's like these actors are you know what I mean, like real. It's very natural, but it is comedic. So I would just love to know the process of directing something like this.
Totally. So I do, Sophia, for those watching who don't know, Sophia and I have worked together at Brookdale multiple times on interviews and live events. And it's kind of the same process as that, where you plan out, your interview, your story essentially, and then you find the B-roll and these things to go along with that story. And so it's a little simpler approach than, like a narrative film, where you have to have every shot be set up very specifically. This is more, we had the idea, Jake and John called me with the idea. And then when I came down, we first shot John's interview, which is a big bulk of the story. Mm-hmm. And then using what he says in that interview, we decided what to, kind of capture around that. And so it was a lot easier for me doing something that's kind of similar to what I normally do. And it was also very funny because Jake and John had kind of come up with this idea on their own, and they told me they wanted to do a movie without telling me what that meant. By the way, they live in Maryland, so I was going to come down without knowing. And then I think the day before I got down there, Jake called me and he was describing the story, and I didn't know what he was talking about, if it was the thing we were about to film or something he wanted to do at a different time. I didn't know. And then I was like, do you have a script for this? And he's like, oh, that would be a good idea if we, wrote this down. So he took everything he told me on the phone with John, and they wrote out this really long handwritten draft. And then when I got there, we sat there and figured out, what if this is really doable? We only shot this in like 2 days. And so we figured out, okay, this interview is going to be a lot of the story. So let's plan out that first. And we spent a lot more time on that and the lighting that. And that's kind of how this all formed though. So that's why it's definitely intentionally a mockumentary, with the documentary feel. And so that's how it kind of worked out for us, that we only had 2 days, and making it feel that way was definitely a way to save time, making a few shots more handheld and feeling like there's just a crew there filming this.
Right. Oh, that is so impressive that you only shot this in 2 days. And Ben, I mean, what an amazing friend and like creative artist that you didn't really know what you were getting into driving down to Maryland. And this is what it was. But like, I think that's so awesome. Jake, I'd love to talk to you. I mean, being like a co-writer, and then you also were the actor in it, but like one of the people who created it, what was that like being on set? Was it just you were in there having fun, or you knew exactly, you had a script that you were saying, or was a lot of it improv? I'd love to know, just like, I know you guys based off of a lot of what you shot based off that first interview with John, but then like, how did it escalate and become what it was from there?
It was really strange to do this. I've never, in high school I'd make small films, but like when Ben came down, it did get serious with like lighting and staging and him having the camera. And so I think there was a lot of scenes between John and I where we did kind of improv, and then like pick up on some good ideas, then like reshoot it again with those new ideas. And so, John and I grew up together. So he's, one of my best friend. I usually introduce him as my best friend. And so we just have a rapport and a humor that like, we can bounce ideas off each other pretty quickly. And so we like wrote the script very quickly, and we got together, and when we're shooting scenes, I think it went pretty quickly. And so that was like, that helped to like make it last only 2 days. Now, one of those days I was like in costume the entire day, which was like quite grueling, I would say. That was like, I think there was definitely some times on camera where like the character seemed irritable, because like the actor was irritable, because like it was I didn't know, I did not realize what I was signing up for. Like when I decided like, oh yeah, we'll do a few scenes where like I'm in like the grocery store with like face paint, and I'm like, walk around my dad's farm with face paint, and I'm like, oh, well, go get a coffee at Starbucks with face paint on. But it's like, that has to take place, and you have to go to these places also in face paint. So
it was like 100 degrees, by the way.
It was also so hot. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. True dedication right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so cool, guys. I mean, I know we could talk all day about this. I love like hearing the making of it and what you guys went through. I didn't know that you actually like, and you could tell too, a lot of, now I'm looking back at what I watched and a lot of the face paint coming off all natural. So that's really cool. I love that. And my last question before we wrap this interview up is, I mean, why did you want to submit this to Garden State Film Festival? And what does it mean having it in Garden State? I mean, Ben, I know that we know each other from Brookdale, but you're also heavily involved with Garden State Film Festival. And I know you know the film festival well. So I'd love to know your perspective. And then after Jake, going to you, hearing about what it means to have this mockumentary playing at Garden State this year.
Well, my first short was in Garden State like 5 years ago, I want to say. And I've been working for them for like 4 years. They gave me my first job coming back to New Jersey after college. I love this festival. It's got a lot of really fun films. It's got a diverse amount of types of films. I think the audience that we get at this festival would really like this kind of thing. And when I talked to Jake about making this, originally this was literally just for the league members in our fantasy football league. And I said, I think this could be pretty accessible to a general audience and especially the Garden State audience. And so they both like the idea, John and Jake, of putting this into this festival. So I think that was the main reason, was it was just something that I think a lot of people here would like to watch.
I absolutely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's still kind of not real. I don't know. Like it's, I had to tell, I'm a teacher, so I had to tell my students that, like, I don't have office hours because I can't have office hours because I'm going to an interview for our film premiering in a festival, and I just thought that was it's incredible. So I don't know. I wasn't really expecting this because we wanted to make it just for the 10 people in the league. That was like what the joke was for. But then it became something a little bit bigger than that, and so that's really special.
Oh, that's so amazing. I'm so surprised that you guys really just wanted to make this for the team, which is so nice. But like, I mean, me watching it, who, like I said, has no idea about fantasy football, and I like enjoyed it. I was laughing out loud. I thought it was so creative. I think this can go so much beyond, yes, that team. And I'm happy that it got accepted into Garden State. I hope that you submit to other places as well, and you guys continue to make awesome work and submit to Garden State, because you're so talented in so many ways, and it's so awesome how you guys made this. So congratulations. Thank you for taking some office hours out of your time, Jake, to talk to us. Ben, it's so nice seeing you again. I thank you guys so much. Let me just tell everyone how you can watch this mockumentary at Garden State Film Festival this year. It will be premiering in person and virtual, but you can watch it in person in the venue of the Berkeley Hotel, the Johnny and June Room, Saturday, March 27th in the film block of 6:45 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So it'll be in person, and also can check it out on your virtual multipass, and really enjoy a great, awesome mockumentary by these talented fellas. So congratulations, guys. Thank you so much. And best of luck to you in your success.
Thank you, Sophie.
Thanks so much.
Before the 2019 fantasy football season, Jake and I knew that we wanted to make a video. Something we could play at the next year's draft, something people could have a little fun with and remember how the year went. And we knew that for the draft day itself, Jake was going to be in that crazy costume and he was going to be silly, but that we agreed, or I thought we agreed, was going to be just a bit. It was just for that day. The video was supposed to be more serious, just an overview of the season.
Did you tell Jake that he needs to keep his costume on for more than 2 days? Call me back. I'm a little concerned.
John, a fantasy football league doesn't run itself. There is so much that takes place. Leagues, teams, players.
I'm the commissioner of a fantasy football league.
Yeah, Jake, I know you sent that threat to me.
Is that what you got? An overview of the season?
No.